Hi, Gabriel. My name is Danielle Forte. I'm with Pop Culture Planet. How are you doing today?
Hi, Daniel. Very nice to meet you. I'm doing really well. Yourself?
I'm doing well too. Nice to meet you too.
Great, great.
I just watched the film Beekeeper this past week, and I'm so excited to ask you some questions about it. So I'm just going to dive right in if that's okay.
Absolutely, please.
All right. So David Ayer is a very action-focused director who likes gritty realism and requires a ton of prep and character work for the actors on his sets. Does that also extend to your role as a cinematographer and other crew members? And how did you cater to his specific style for this movie?
Well, absolutely. David has got is very action orientated, but again, I keep saying about David. David is an action orientated director with a vision. He believes that it's not only the precision that you need to have, like a stunt man or a stunt director, just to follow the action as it should be. He has a vision about it, and he wants that everything that we do in a film, all the preparation that we do for that film, responds and is an answer to a vision that he's got, and a vision that he works with his collaborators, I myself. When we discuss Beekeeper and we talk about the so-called situation and the principle of the metaphor about the bees that they come to solve problems when the beehive goes into chaos, we talk about conceiving that with colors and try to use one color for the moment in which the beehive, the beekeeper, is in peace, and then the world of the chaos that is with garish colors and chaotic colors, yet attractive but very garish and horrible. And that confrontation that we have visually in the film reflects the mechanics of the action. That's the great thing about David Ayer, I believe, that it's not only the mechanics of the action film what makes him an interesting director, it's the fact that he wants to elevate those mechanics to an art form, which is very needed for our films in our time. We need to tell people again that what we do, that film is an art form, and that is not only a mechanical experience, but it also goes beyond that. So that's the way that I prepare with David. We talk a lot about it conceptually, and then we try to bring it to reality.
That's awesome. And that kind of leads me into my next question. You've been doing this since the 80s. So I was wondering, with the emergence of CGI and more special effects these days, how has that affected cinematography and how do you account for that in your shots?
Well, I think we still need to do. I embraced it from the day one. In fact, what I remember when my second film back in the 80s, my third film was Caravaggio. And when I did Caravaggio in England with a great, great director, Derek Jarman, we basically he wanted to shoot it in film, in video, in videotape. And then we wanted to transfer into film. On those days, you use a technique called kinescope. And so since then, I'm experimenting with the technique. So when we have transitions and we have evolution on the filmmaking and all the ways to capture image, I embrace them with no problem at all. So that was for me very fascinating to know that, okay, we could do that in celluloid. Well, of course, we can use celluloid and it will be great and we will have a beautiful texture. But what is great about digital nowadays is that digital is finding its own voice and its own language. So it's very good that now you have a new form of recording images that responds to their own aesthetics. And it's great. Now you are not comparing. Now you're not wanting to, okay, I want to make digital to look like film. No, 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 no. You don't need to do that anymore because now digital has got its own aesthetic. Whether it's better or different to the celluloid, it doesn't really matter. It's its own aesthetics. And it demands its own needs and its own techniques and its own procedures and the way that you work in the film set with it. Whereas in film, you were the master of the secret. You were the alchemist. You were the one that put the meter out, and you were the only one who knew what you were going to get. Here, you have a lot of people giving opinions and believing and looking at the monitors and believing that they know what they're looking at. And then you come and say, no, you're not looking at it. So you have to change also your narrative. You have to change the way that you communicate it. You have to change the way that you manipulate your images, but you're still in control. That's the reason why cinematographers continue being a vital role in the film industry, regardless of the fact that now it's so difficult to get it wrong, so to speak. It's very difficult not to get a good image, and that everyone looks at that images. Everyone can have an opinion. Yet, I don't receive any of that. I mean, I have not, since we moved into digital, I have not had any opinion about my lighting, an opinion about the shots, any opinion about anything, because we are still in control of an image that has got a function and tells a story. And for that, we prepare and we respond to not only a mechanical thing, we're responding to a whole vision. And as long as we are the masters of the whole vision with the director, we are we are there. We're there, and we are basically using the technology in the right way, so to speak.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that. I'm just gonna have one last question. Your interest in filmmaking began with your collaboration in the Mexico indie film scene. How does the Mexico indie film scene differ from the film scene in America?
Well, I mean, we were basically that was the time in which we started with Super 8. That was the need of telling use film as a means of expressing political ideas, social ideas, and that's what we basically in America. That was the time in which they used the youth, my generation needed to express themselves, and we use Super 8. And every time that now I do master classes and I talk to young people, I say that now you have for us, we had a Super 8 camera. And it was still difficult to get film and to get and to cut it and to do the things. Yet we went out with our little Super 8 cameras. Now you have the digital cameras that are not that expensive. You've got to start telling stories. So what that independent film that indie industry did, or that indie movement did for us, we were responding to the fact that the Mexican industry on those days was like the American one, was very close, was very difficult to get in, very difficult, as it is now for a lot of young people. I mean, we believe that now we are, no, we are not. Still, you go to conference, you go to meetings, you go to master classes, and then you see that all this amazing amount, this extraordinary amount of people telling you, how did you manage to, what can I do to get in? So, and I said, well, create your own indie industry. I create you now. You have the means. Now you have YouTube. Now you have all the elements there to distribute your films, where you have to do it. So the indie period in my time, like the American indie period, was exactly that. Was a need, a necessity that we had to answer to an industry that was not allowing us to get in. An industry that was very insular and it was very locked and it was impossible for the younger generation to get in. But is it different to what happened today? It's not. It's not at all. But we did what we needed to do, and younger people nowadays, they need to do what they need to do. That's very important. And America and Mexico and France and Europe and all that, we did exactly that. We went out with our little cameras to shoot films and to tell stories.
I think that's a perfect place to end. That's all the time we have today.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a great, interesting questions.
Yeah, thank you. It was so nice meeting you. I loved the film.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, tell the people, tell the audience to go and see it. It's
Oh, I
important.
will.
It's not just a simple action film. It's that and beyond that.